I've said it before. Air tools are dead. They're a dead end. They're a dead tool walking. It's an industry with a finite lifespan, and you can see the end from here. And the end just got a lot closer, because Milwaukee just basically ended the argument with their new tool. They just launched this new tool, and you know, I think Milwaukee tools are great. I think the company has a little sketchy kind of stuff going on with their marketing and whatnot, but the tools are fantastic. And at this point, for the pro, air is essentially not even an option. Okay. Now this goes back. People have been saying this for years, like, oh, there'll never be a good impact wrench that can defeat air. All right. And Milwaukee blew that out of the water, and so has everyone else since then. There's tons of fantastic impact wrenches out there that do everything that air can. They have everything down to 1/4 inch, up to 1 inch. They have dual batteries, all sorts of stuff. You're hard pressed to find air impact wrenches in most professional shops these days. And then they said ratchets, and then they came out with ratchets. And then it was, well, they can't do what a grinder can do, the air grinders, the little 1/4 inch air grinders. And now Milwaukee came out with the air grinder. Harbor Freight's got an air grinder that is just phenomenal at this point. But the one that everyone said you can't do it with is air will never beat the air hammer. That's it. You cannot stop an air hammer. And people tried SDS hammers and mods and stuff like that. Even the guys over at Torque Test Channel, they did a test showing the S, and it did okay. It did pretty good. But it's big, it's bulky, it doesn't quite have the same level of power. It can do some jobs that a long barrel air hammer will do, but it's not quite the same thing. So people said, haha, air will live on. Yeah, about that. I got to show you the new Milwaukee M18 Striker. they didn't even mess around with the name. It's the Striker. It is, and let me get my mouse out of the way there, world's first cordless hammer chisel. Long barrel pneumatic power that you could use in all the other places you would normally use a pneumatic air hammer. And of course, the first thing that comes to mind for me is ball joint removal. In fact, when it came to doing the ball joints on my big Cummins, I actually just took it in because I didn't have the air equipment set up to do this, and trying to do it without one is a real pain in the you-know-what. And then Milwaukee comes out with this. Of course, this is a professional grade tool at a professional grade price. But the fact of the matter still stands that it's doing what air hammers do. It'll do the equivalent of 145 PSI. What it's doing is it's producing 7 joules. They measure it in joules, and it's hitting that same level of power. And they talk all about it. What they leave out, which is in the data, is that the standard air hammer, now they're comparing it, let me bring it up. They're comparing it versus this, which is the Snap-on long barrel, the Super Duty air hammer, the PH 3050. And it comes in a price of $567, just come under $570. Your price off the truck depends based off of how badly they screwed you on the other tools that you bought from them. Anyway, tool truck humor, lighten up. One of the things they leave out is that air hammer, the Snap-on one, delivers, I believe it's 2,500 beats per minute. And the Milwaukee does 20% more, 3,000. So it's doing the same level of power faster. Now, in full disclosure, it is heavier. It's almost twice as heavy. And it's 4 inches longer. It's roughly the same size, a little bit longer, and it weighs more. The battery will do that to you. So lifting it overhead for long periods of time will be an issue, all right? But price won't. The price on this, $599. So you're looking at the exact same, price level, if you would. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be like, well, I get my discount from the truck. And yes, I realize you and George over there have a very intimate relationship. I don't want to hear the details about how you get your discounts, all right? But that said, we all know Milwaukee's going to have a sale. It's going to happen. There's going to be a sale, and it'll go down cheaper. And then on top of that, what else will happen? Competitors will come out. Eventually, Harbor Freight will come out with one. DeWalt will have one. Everyone will have one. And then the price on the Milwaukee one will have to come down a little bit. And this is the end. All right, that's all there is to it. Yes, the current air hammer is lighter, and the M18 fuel, it doesn't have the what is it? Oh yeah, an air hose. Yeah, you can take this thing anywhere. You want to go out to pick apart and grab some suspension parts? Take it with you. You got a tractor out in the field? Take it with you. You got a truck that won't fit in your shop? I do. And so I do most of my work outside. Guess what I don't want to be dragging outside? A hose. Guess what this doesn't have? A hose. All right. On top of that, for the pros, air is dying. Insurance companies are more and more pressuring shops to get rid of the use of airlines. They're a tripping hazard. They're an air intrusion hazard. If you don't know what air intrusion is, it's when like you pop the airline off and you don't move your hand fast enough and it comes across and it hits here and it turns your vein right here into an airline. And if you think a degloving photo is bad, you don't want to look up what this injury looks like. Yeah, it's just, and on top, also, I like the air hammers and stuff. They discharge air and there's metal sheathings everywhere. And guess where that goes? It blows it and goes up in your eyeballs and stuff. And there's another lawsuit. Insurance companies don't want airlines in shops. They want the techs to provide their own tools, to be responsible for them, and for them to be able to wash their hands and not have to deal with it. It's always going to be the insurance companies, folks. So the insurance companies are pushing for this. The age of having free air at the shop that you can just buy a cheap tool and tattoo is going away anyway. And Milwaukee just basically killed the last argument. If there's another argument out there for shop use, you can put it down below. I know the body guys are going to be like, well, dude, it won't. I can do airbrushing. There are tools like that coming out. In fact, I got some coming into the shop we're going to be showing you. Sorry, folks. It's not like I'm on Team Battery. Big Battery isn't out there paying me money going, tell them air is dead. I could get air compressors to pay me the same money, but they won't because, no, it's just the way technology is moving. And if you get in the way of the technology freight train, it's not going to end well for you, okay? Speaking of not ending well for you, all right, I'll put a link to this down below. And I have unrelated, I got to tell you about this. All right, if you're looking for a new drama, a legal drama to watch, if you like Law and Order, if you're looking for a new legal drama, wait, don't go away, don't click away, because you're gonna like this one. I know you guys. You're gonna enjoy the snot out of this. So, here's what's going on. I'll tell you over here. So here's what's up. Imagine there's this evil company out there that looks like it's a family-friendly company. And then it decides to steal some old guy's valuable collectibles for reasons I don't know. And that's literally what happened. So the company is called Bricks and Minifigs. And this is my own opinion, not stating a fact. You can figure it out for yourself. My opinion. Because I have to protect myself because they'll sue anybody who says anything at this point. So this older guy, had a bunch of collectible Star Wars Lego toys. And now you're like, toys, I don't care about it. It's not about the toys. It's not anywhere close about the toys. So his son takes him to the store to sell them under consignment. And everything's going great. But then the owners of the store say, hey, we're looking at selling the store, maybe moving out of country. And the corporate finds out about this collection of toys they have and swoops in and takes the store away from them and kicks them out under threat of police. And then the owner of the collection tries to get them back, and Bricks and Minifigs tells them, you're welcome to sue us, and you'll lose in court. We'll drag it out. You'll never get your money, and you'll just waste whatever money you have. So they turn to YouTubers, and the YouTubers are kicking their butts. And I'll put a link to a couple of them down below. The main guy is Reckless Ben, and I find him hard to watch. He's got some, I don't know if they're ADHD issues or stuff, but he jumps around all over the place. He's an honest guy. He's really trying to do the right thing, I believe. It's just kind of hard to watch. But there are some other ones. It's gotten to the point where some of the bigger online lawyers have gotten involved, including this big civil rights lawyer out of West Virginia, who basically just owns police departments left and right. If you're tired of police abuse, you've got to be watching this guy because he just, as soon as he gets involved, police departments start freaking out, all right? And he's now involved, as are apparently a couple other big legal names. And the reason why is because Bricks and Minifigs is based out of Oregon and Utah, and apparently the people who own the top level folks all went to like Brigham Young, and they're involved in the Mormon Church, and then the local police all went to Brigham Young and went and involved in the Mormon Church, and this is in a very tight Mormon community. And I'm not saying the Mormon Church is involved. You make your own conclusion. But the cops show up to arrest them, the guys who are trying to file this lawsuit against Bricks and Minifigs, and they arrest and then SWAT, and it's, oh my gosh, it looks like complete and utter corruption. And then the police department puts out a statement on YouTube, and this guy sitting there talking to the most terrible statement, PR just tragedy you've ever seen. It's got 53,000 comments on their video because apparently they didn't understand on YouTube we can respond back unless you turn off comments. They didn't do that. I couldn't find one of those comments that was positive in their favor. It is just the ultimate meltdown. And then they tried to sue, and they were suing, Bricks and Minifigs is suing everyone, left, right, left. And then they tried to they're threatened to sue Patreon because Patreon was hosting some of the videos, and Patreon told them to kiss their ass, basically. And Patreon's much bigger than they thought and has much bigger lawyers than they thought. And if you ever wanted to see righteous justice come screaming out of the heavens for someone and just destroy what looks for all the world to be like the quintessential evil company that just wants to steal from old people, this is it. And it is, it's free entertainment. And I welcome you all to go check it out and maybe lend some support if you can. We have, it's just one of those cases where you just want to see justice done. And I know you guys, and I think you all would appreciate this sort of thing. So anyway, that's your entertainment for this summer. Great drama going on now. I'll put a link also to the whole Milwaukee thing down below so you can check that out. Anyway, if you like what we do here, if we think we bring you some interesting stories, go ahead and chomp the old like button, smash that subscribe, ring the bell on the way out. You all take care. God bless. And as always, shine on.